Welcome to the Zohar class. Parasha this week is Devarim. We just started a new book, the fifth book of the Torah, Devarim, that has double meaning. It means talking, speaking, and also means material, means material items. This is the last book of the Torah. It's a repetition, like a good teacher, like a good father. Moshe Rabbeinu, before entering Israel, he review everything we've done in the past 40 years in the desert. So time-wise, the whole book is written in 37 days by Moshe. It's not an accident. We're going to talk about it. So this is the end of the book of Devarim. Moshe departs from the physical world. So he is talking to us like a good father, reviewing with us, pointing out our mistakes, but everything done with love, not as a punishment or put us in a spot. And the reason they said it's written in 37 days because we know that Moshe is the reincarnation of Hevel. You remember at the beginning of the Torah, there were two brothers, Kyle and Abel, and Kyle killed Abel. In Hebrew, Abel is Hevel. And the numerical value for Hevel is 37. Hey, Bet Lamed. Lamed is 30, Bet is 2, Hey is 5. So together it's 37. And the last book of the Torah that Moshe is reviewing with us, our journey together, is also written in 37 days. So in reality, Moshe is telling us that he done his tikkun. He did his tikkun, he did his teshuvah. So what is this tikkun? What was the mistake of Hevel that it took 5 books of Torah for him to do his correction, to do his tikkun, to repent? When Hevel and Kyle, the two brothers, took offering to the Creator, did you remember the Creator accepted Hevel's offering, and out of jealousy, Kyle killed his brother. So the Torah, this universe, this world was, after creation, such a horrible things happened that the brothers didn't get along, and we know we experienced civil war, we experienced so many issues within families and brothers. So there's a fundamental issue with brothers, and Moshe, he solved it. What was the issue of Hevel at the beginning of the Torah that he ended up being killed? That he was not modest. He was not, he didn't practice reverence. When the Creator accepted his offering, he had an ego about it. He looked up, it's like the Creator opened the heaven for him and he looked up, and he was not modest about it. But this time around, after 5 books of Torah, what Hashem called Moshe? He called him, he is my servant. He's so humble. He's the most humble person on the planet. So one of the most fundamental lesson of the Torah is that the Torah started with a person that didn't appreciate, was not respectful. Maybe he was asking more by looking up. When the Creator accepted his offers, can you imagine you standing in front of the Creator and he's going to give you a gift, or he's going to accept you, and then you're going to look up? That there's no modesty in it. But this time around, Moshe, we learned his head was down, right? Even in the movie that we saw, the 10 Commandments, as soon as Hashem revealed himself, Moshe lowered his head. So one way to look at the Torah is that we need to learn to be modest. In Farsi, haya, sharm o haya. You know, we have to be modest in front of our teachers. We have to be modest in front of our parents. We have to be modest in front of our friends. We have to be modest in front of authorities. How many times you watch news, you see like the cops or the policeman tell the guy, you know, okay, pull over or don't talk or I don't know, whatever, and the people resist, right? They're not modest, so the cop end up being so harsh on the people, right? So we learn in life, that's what the Torah and Moshe is trying to teach us, that one of the secrets of this life is to be modest or reverence, you know, appreciate. It's a beautiful word in Farsi, haya, sharm o haya. So you know, we live in an interesting city. It's all luxury. It's all about how big and shiny and how powerful and how much I know and how much I have, right? So the Moshe is teaching us, you know, be modest. Whatever you receive is from the Creator. If your eyes is running and you're asking for more, and you know that's not enough, and this is that's not fair, then we are not modest about it. Of course, we have to grow. Of course, we have to have more. Of course, we have to be more smart, but with modesty, not with rudeness. You know, we come with nothing and we live with nothing. You know, so it's not ours, and whatever they give us, we have to be modest about. That's a great lesson from this Torah portion. The other beautiful thing about this portion, we spoke about it before. Hebrew is a very interesting language. Davar, Devarim, or Davar means two things in Hebrew. Davar means a material, something tangible, and then Dibur also means talking. So maybe Hevel, when Hashem accepted his offering, you know, I don't know, he asked for more. Maybe he didn't say the right thing. So whatever we say is become manifest. Davar Devarim it means tangible and also means speaking. So whatever we say, you know, it's become tangible. So we have to be careful. It's a very powerful fact in Kabbalah that if you bless somebody, we are blessing ourselves, right? If you bless somebody, you're blessing yourself. And chas v'shalom, God forbid, if you curse somebody, who do we are cursing? Who hears the curse? Our body is hearing the curse. So whatever we say is become reality. I know overnight we cannot change, you know, our speech, but little by little, you know, I hope I bring you awareness, to even to myself. Next time I want to say something, you know, we have to watch out because it's going to be manifested. There is a beautiful lesson in Kabbalah that each time we mention the name of an angel, they show up. So that's, I mean, that's a proof. If you say the name of an angel, they show up. They say, yes, what can I do for you? And let me look at on your, you know, file how good you did in the past day and how good you did in the past month or year. That's why we don't pronounce the name of the angels. We don't want them to come and check out our files. But if you call somebody, if you're walking in the street and I see you from across the street, if I pronounce your name, you're going to turn around, right? So our speech cause a movement, cause a reaction. So we have to work on our speech. We still say some negative words. Some days we're in a bad mood. Some days we have a tough day. But our vocabulary should improve. On a daily basis. The next, which is related. Now let's take it even deeper. On the first reading of this Torah portion, Devarim, on the first reading toward the end, there is a beautiful sentence. Adonai Elohei Avotechem Yosef Alechem Kelef Pa'amim V'yivarech Otchem Kasher Diber Lachem. He says, the Creator Hashem, whatever you have, whatever you are, He's going to give you 1,000 times more. It's in the Torah, and we pronounce it every Shabbat in Kenisa too. He says, it doesn't say He's going to give you money. It doesn't say He's going to give you health. He doesn't say I'm going to give you respect and position. He says, whatever you are, I'm going to give you 1,000 times more. So, if we give respect, we're going to get respected. If we share, then we're going to receive more. If we are giving love, we're going to receive more love. So he says, it's so amazing, maybe we don't pay attention to these words and sentences. He says, whatever you are, I'm going to give you more. If we talk positive, we're going to receive positivity. If we talk health, then we're going to receive health. If we talk goodness, we receive goodness. And Chas v'shalom, the opposite is the opposite. So it's like constantly there is a supervision. What are we doing? What are we saying? Where are you? And I'm going to give you more of it, exactly what you are. And the scary part is 1,000 times more. Wow. Sometimes we say negative words. Can you imagine receiving 1,000 times more of it? The next subject we're going to talk about is the 9th of Av. We are in a very, very special week. There is a special period from 17th of Tammuz to 9th of Av. The modest one is from 17th of Tammuz until Rosh Chodesh Av, which was yesterday, and then it's going to get harsh, in the next 8 days. So it's a hard time, but right now we are into the harsher time. It's going to get tougher and tougher until 9th of Av. We all know about Tisha B'Av, 9th of Av. So much happened. We lost the first Bet HaMikdash. We lost the second Bet HaMikdash. The decree on the Jews in World War II came on 9th of Av. The expelling of the Jews from Spain in 1492 came in 9th of Av. So much bad and negative happened in 9th of Av. And this week we are trying to be modest. We don't eat meat, we don't party, we don't start a new business, we don't do shopping. We're trying to avoid any kind of ego and rudeness so we don't get burned. Why is it bad? And at the same time, what's the best solution? Good and bad comes together. In this world, good and bad comes together. There is no such a thing good without bad. Electricity has 100 watt of positivity and 100 negativity. So this period, the Kabbalists call it the birth of the Mashiach. So we have two options. Either we bring the redemption, the Mashiach, or can be a bad, tough time. What is the mother, what is the source of all badness and negativities? It's judgment, to be judgmental. We hate somebody because we judge him. We get angry on somebody because we judge him. We control somebody because we judge him. We're jealous of somebody because we judge him. And the list goes on, so the mother of all negative issues are judging. You remember we said there is only two positive emotions. The creator Hashem has only two positive emotions. It's love and happiness, right? Anything else is falling to the negative category. So what all those negativity starts is because we judge. And we constantly looking around, we constantly seeing things, news, people, what they say, what they dressed up. How is it possible not even to judge? So the first level for us, the beginners, to practice not to judge is not to talk about it. We can see something, we can judge, but as a beginners, as amateurs, before we even jump to the next level of not judging, let's first keep it inside, not talk about it. So the first level of not judging is don't bring it out. You don't have to share it. You don't have to talk to somebody else about it. You don't have to mention it. You don't have to develop it. You don't have to transform it. As soon as you feel like you're judging, you stop it. You do something else. What is the examples of judging has thousands of faces. A shy person is a judgmental. So a rude person is a judgmental. So judging has 1,000 faces. And this is a practice you're going to do after the class. In the two examples I want to give you that is very common of judging, we judge like some people, they don't deserve what they have. And this is one of the bad quality of judging. We look at people, you look at situation, and we decide that they don't deserve it. And not only in good things, sometimes we look at somebody and says they don't deserve that. Again, you're judging. Of course, somebody is in pain, somebody is sick. We help him, we give him a hand, we do our best, but we don't have the right to judge them that they don't deserve it. So if we judge somebody that they deserve it or that they don't deserve it, both of them is wrong. So if you want to check mark in your list that I don't want to judge, the number one is I shouldn't judge somebody if he's deserving something or he doesn't deserve something. In a very high consciousness, a sick person is going through a correction, is doing his tikkun, is cleansing his body. So by me screaming and saying that's not fair and that's not right, and he doesn't deserve this, then the Kabbalists call judging idol worship, avodah zarah. That means that you go against the Creator's will. What is avodah zarah? What is idol worshiping? That you go against Creator's will. The next one that, I don't know, maybe is the worst than the first one, is that we decide somebody is guilty or somebody is not guilty. So right away we put this hat on that this person is guilty or this person is not guilty of something. There is a very scary lesson in Mishnah. He says each time you want to judge somebody, that's for the judges, like judges in courts, but we judge also. He says each time you want to judge, you have to imagine yourself that there is a sword on your neck. There is a sword on your neck. And if you make the wrong judgment, then Chas v'Shalom is going to go through. And not only the sword, also the gate of hell is open in front of you. So if you make the wrong judgment, there is a sword on your neck and the gate of heaven is open in front of you. After reading this, I said, oh my God, I don't want to judge anymore, with the sword, with the hell. But I know we are human and tomorrow we're going to start judging again. But the fact that we are aware of it, that's good. That's one way to improve. Another bad judgmental character that we have is hate for no reason. There is a hate for no reason, and there is hate for no reason is because I just don't like a person's name. I don't even know him, or I hate certain nation, or I hate certain races, or I hate certain group of people, or I hate a city, because in my imagination, I heard something, I learned something. So, we don't have the right to judge a person, a situation, or place without even knowing the person or without even being there. So that's a bad judgment. So sinat chinam is hatred for no reason. Give him a chance. You heard something, you learned something, you saw something. Maybe it's a type of a stereotyping. That's why I don't like stereotyping, because one person doesn't make the whole nation bad. So hatred for no reason, it's very connected to sinat chinam. Hatred for no reason is for stereotyping. So we are learning that the correction of 9th of Av, this 9th day, is not to judge. Why we fall into the judging? Maybe we have a position, maybe we are a mother, maybe we are a father, maybe we are a teacher, maybe we are a boss. We have to understand that the position that the Creator give us and the position we are at, any kind of a position, it's going to come with the embarrassment. It's going to come with people going to make fool of us. People going to beat us up, maybe physically or spiritually or mentally. We all have children. The children hurt us, right? Embarrass us. They sometimes they say the wrong word. We have to understand, any kind of a position you have, sooner or later, somebody going to embarrass you, somebody going to hurt you, somebody going to put you down. So we have to understand that any position you have, be careful, don't judge. If you're a friend, maybe your friend going to make fun of you, maybe laugh at you, maybe your friend's going to be late, maybe your friend's going to get drunk. So as far as you have something or someone, it's going to, sooner or later, something bad is going to happen. So you have to be careful. Don't judge the situation or judge the person. If you cannot handle the position, don't accept the position. I see young people, oh, I met my soulmate, I'm going to be happily ever after. We're never going to fight. We're never going to argue. Yeah, right. That's impossible. So it comes with the entitlement, with the friendship, with the marriage, with the parenthood, with the student, it's given. Embarrassment, hard time, harsh language is going to come. So watch out. The more position you have, the more situation is going to be that you're going to start judging. So you have to have the vessel to accept the responsibility for your position. If the Creator give you a position, doesn't matter what they're going to do to you. Don't start judging. There is an interesting story part that Moshe talks about in this parasha. He says, I was your leader. I guided you for 4 years, but it looks like you guys don't want to be guided. You keep going against me. You keep rebelling. So that's another point. You want to guide someone? Be careful, because if you want to guide somebody, it's going to come with criticism, and then you're going to start judging them. So if you want to guide someone, you have to watch out. That's guidance going to cause you to judge also down the road. So if you cannot handle the judgment, don't guide. How many times we give advice and he hit us back? Oh, you give me the wrong advice, and this happened to me, and that happened to me. So I'm not saying don't guide, but watch out, because guiding also can cause you to judge. Let's read from the Zohar. A good lesson of 9th of Av is that it's the darkest day of the year, but at the same time they call it the birth of the Mashiach, the birth of the Messiah. How is it possible? We talked about it in the last year class, or 2 years ago, that we only understand 3% of the reality. So we always jump to judge. We always rush to judge. We have to pause. And maybe I don't like this situation. Maybe I don't like this person. But before I start judging, let me pause. Maybe it's beyond my understanding. And obviously it's beyond our understanding. We can understand only 3% of the reality. So how can we see the full picture? So before we jump into rush, we need to ask ourselves, we need to remind ourselves, I don't see the full picture here. So before I'm going to harm myself and harm other people, let me pause, let me sleep over it. And how many times in our life a bad situation happened, and down the road we realized it actually was a blessing. So all the judging, all the arguing, and all the harsh time was for nothing. A good student, because the Zohar, because Parashat Devarim, there is no dedicated Zohar to it. We're gonna use some other section of the Zohar. So we are in book number 16, page 70, and it's talking about we are not allowed. Section 103. It says we are not allowed to even talk about a sin of a sinner, because again, we don't see the full picture. We don't know. We don't have the capability to understand what's going on. He says even you see, even if you know for a fact somebody did a sin, we are not allowed to talk about it publicly, because we are defaming the name of that person. Let's read it in Aramaic, and we're going to read the English part, and it's going to understand better. So we're going to read this section by this kavanah, with this consciousness that even there is a bad situation, even there is bad people, we should not judge them, and we should not talk bad about them in public, especially because that's a big aspect of judging. and we can harm ourselves. So yeah, of course we have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our community, but if it's not related to us, if it's not benefiting us, we should not, talk bad even behind a bad person. We are in book 16, page 103, page 70, section 103. Da, ולא תישא עליו חטא. דהאו כיוון דברנש אוכל לחבריה, והזדמן לאובך ליה והתגליה. לא יסלק המיה ההוא חובה דאוויר. דייסו ליה ודאי, אלא אימה סתם, ולא יסלק עליו ההוא חובה בהתלייגה, ולא ירשם עליו חובה. דקודשה בריחו חס על יקרא דברנש אפילו בחייביה. He says even the snake, even Hashem doesn't want us to talk bad about the snake, because the snake is his creator. Keyvan is the snake. Another explanation for a not suffer sin in his account is that if one man rebukes another, and it is happened that he rebukes the other publicly, he must not mention before him the sin he committed. That is surely prohibited. He must speak in general and not mention the sin be committed in public, nor ascribe the sin in him, since the Holy One, blessed be He, is concerned about the honor of every person, even the evildoers. I'm going to read that again. The Holy One, blessed be He, is concerned about the honor of every person, even the evildoers. Another section of the Zohar, we're not going to read it, we're just going to talk about it, is book number 18, page 16, and section 20. It says two rabbis were walking, two huge rabbis. They are the number one students of Rabbi Shimon. And they came across a foolish man, talking foolish, acting foolish, looking foolish. So the big, huge rabbis, they start judging him. They said, no, forget about this guy. This guy is crazy. We are wasting our time. Forget it. And all of a sudden, that foolish guy, he revealed himself that he was a bigger rabbi than these two. The bigger rabbi than these two. And he tells them, you don't have the right to judge anybody, because there is a jewel in everybody. There is a lesson to learn from everything and everybody. The most foolish person, the most sinner, the most ugliest situation of people is still, if you come across of it, there is a lesson to it for us. There is a jewel. The Zohar call it that lesson a jewel. There is a diamond, as ugly the ugliest situation is, but still there is a diamond hidden within that ugliness. And I need to look for that lesson, that elevation, that transformation that I'm going to do. Learning the situation is the jewel for me. There is another section that's related to Parashat Devarim, is in portion Balak, that talk about Yenuka. Yenuka was this extraordinary 6-year-old child that he was extremely wise. And Yenuka in Hebrew means breastfeeding, like a baby, like yonek, is like yonek, the milk from his mother. And the lesson is, I talked about it a few years ago, he says we see the mother, we see the baby, but we don't see the milk, right? We don't see the milk. And the milk is the milk that the baby received has it all. There is any kind of nutrition you can imagine that the mother's breastfeed doesn't have. It has it all. All the vitamins, all the goodness, all the antibiotics, it has it all. But we don't see the milk. So it says, Be like a baby and extract the goodness from the situation. Forget about the mother, forget about the baby, forget about the surrounding. What can you extract? What can you breastfeed from that situation that has all the barakah and blessing within it? We are done with this section of the class. We're going to move to the trauma section that we talk about, the healing from trauma. We're just going to mention one sentence because we don't have that much time, and we're going to move to the body part that we're going to talk about. This is an amazing section, amazing sentence. By the way, it's from the book Refuat Etzadorot. It's from Hebrew. It's in Hebrew only. What is this amazing sentence? It says every disease has a solution. What doesn't have the solution is the people. The people don't have a solution. He says every disease there is a medicine for it. But some people, nothing can help them. No medicine can help them. It's a very powerful sentence. In Hebrew, it sounds so good. En machalot חשוכות מרפא, יש אנשים חשוכי מרפא. He says there is no disorder without a cure, but there are some people that they don't have no cure. So even in the Zohar, it says every disease there is a herb in the planet that cures it. But unfortunately, there is no cure for people. People with what? With ego, people with jealousy, people with judgmental, people with hate, with anger. There is no solution for that. So if someone catch a cold, there is a solution for it. There is a cure for it. But if someone, angry all the time, or hateful all the time, or don't practice love and he's not happy, there is no cure for that. We've seen through the years within the member of the temple, God forbid, there is a decree, someone gets sick, but with happiness and love, we solve that issue, right? But if somebody has a negative character, no love, no medicine is going to help him. It's a very powerful sentence, and the Kabbalists don't believe in sickness, don't believe in diseases, because we bring it, chas v'shalom, upon ourselves with the negative attitude or with the traumas that we carry. So I want this sentence guarantee to us that if with the right consciousness, with a loving, caring heart, and with happiness, no disease or disorder can touch us. I love that sentence. We're gonna move to a body part, and a great student asked to talk about joints in the body. By the way, we have a joint in our shoulders, hip joint, wrist joint, finger joint, toe joint, ankle joint, and also this section talking about cracking joints. Like some people crack joints, and we're going to talk about it. What kind of emotion can keep us, have a healthy joint. It says you have a great deal, that's when there is a problems with joints. You have a great deal of resentment and anger related to your perceived shortcoming in life. Like you had an expectation, You want something, you dreaming about something, you imagining something, but there is a shortcome, so maybe we shouldn't imagine or want or have desires beyond our abilities. So one way to not having a joint problems is to limit our desires to what we are capable of. It says another thing that causes joint pain is personal relationships and failed projects. Issues in personal relationship and failed projects. Old past incidents that are still an issue. Or I remember my grandma, God bless her soul, she had joint problems and she was always talking about problems from 50 years ago. Sounds familiar, right? Like all the old people, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, 4 years ago, this done to me, that done to me. So you want to avoid joint problems? Forget about the past incidents. That still is an issue. It says when we are rigid about changing and resolving issues. So, there is an issue and there is no solution for it because we are rigid. That's a very powerful sentence. It says you feel forced to deal with things as they come rather than getting your ways. It's like, I want certain things, I want my way, but in reality, the society or the situation is different than what I want. I wrote a note for myself that we need to flow in life. Instead of fighting life, we need to flow with life. We cannot be this fighting all the time. The weather, the politics, the city, my job, my situation, my friends. We have to flow. There is a beautiful example. It says the river, at the middle, there is the highest flow. It's always fresh water, right? It's clear, it's fresh, it's beautiful because it's constantly flowing. But the water on the side is yellow and ugly and dirty. And it's not flowing, it's keep going in circles, So if you flow in life, doesn't matter what they throw at you, then you avoid joint problems. The family may have created a great deal of drama and projected responsibilities onto you, leaving you no freedom of choice. Yeah, that doesn't need explanation. We all have some dramas in our families. And that's created conflict, like you feel like you've been pushed around. Wow, that sounds familiar. So if you have a feeling that we've been pushed around by our families and instead of receiving love in our subconsciousness, we thought we deserve love and compassion, but the family been pushing us around and that's make us angry. What kind of a family is this? And that can cause joint problems. And the solution is, again, flow. If the creator put you in this family, because there is a lesson behind it. It says, that's again talking about flow. It says, our negative feeling created a wall around us. Not because of people are bad, because our wrong negative feeling cause us to put wall between us and people. Oh, this is a whoever says that my parents didn't love me, and then we have a feeling like if my parents didn't love me, then nobody else gonna love me. So obviously, any kind of a child looking for love from their parents, and if they don't receive it, they have a lack of love and they feel like they can never love again or nobody will love them. So it creates some kind of a victim that I was not loved, so I'm never going to find love again. That's why it's important as the parents to keep giving love, so they're gonna keep looking for it. It says if you keep looking to if you keep looking for attention from our family members, like you're out of control, you keep wanting attention from your family members, that can cause a joint problems issue. You have to be modest about it. You can't expect attention 24/7 from family member, right? So if you keep looking for constant attention from your partner or family and friends, constant attention, then it can cause joint problems too. I was talking to Shohre, and she said how good it is to be alone once in a while, right? She mentioned it. It says it's so good to be alone. I don't want attention. I don't want to talk. I don't want love. I don't want an argument. It's good to be alone. So we like rejuvenate our body and our emotions. And if you're alone for a little bit, then the attention has more meaning. It says you seem to use your anger to charge through life. Like I said it many times before, I met people, she says, if I don't get angry, I cannot do business, I cannot have a good time, I cannot pass on a message, I cannot teach anything. So it says it's the people that use anger in order to go through life that cause joint problems. It says that we're going to finish with this sentence. It says joint pain might cause a secondary problem such as fatigue. The body might be fighting off an infection that is related to the joint problem. He says if we practice all those negative characters and there is a joint issue, then our body is constantly fighting this disorder. So we're always going to be tired because our body is fighting this disease or this disorder. This is how far we're going to take the class. I highly recommend to whoever listen to the classes, join the class, because after we shut down the Zoom and the class, we start talking among ourselves, and that's as powerful as the class. So please join us Thursday afternoon, 7:30. I wish you Shabbat Shalom. I wish you Chag Sameach. This is the birth of the Mashiach, and love you guys. Thank you. Shabbat.